Good morning, students. We now begin with Chapter 3, Post-Industrialization Age. Different transformations had taken place due to Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution had led to the establishment of factory system. This led to urbanization of the industrialized society, whereby a number of new cities had emerged. These new cities provided employment to the people, and so this in turn led to overcrowding of the cities. In England, cities like Manchester and Leeds had witnessed a maximum number of people settling there. The different industries had employed both skilled as well as unskilled laborers. The Industrial Revolution also led to the rise of capitalist economy, wherein two important classes emerged: capitalists and laborers. Capitalists had owned the factories. They had the support of the government who framed laws to protect their interests. These capitalists earned huge profits, and in order to earn these profits, they would exploit the laborers. On the other hand, there were the laborers who had no access to ownership of the means of production. They worked so hard in the factories for low wages. In the post-industrialized society, the family, which was the basic unit of the society, was adversely affected. Due to the low wages, the entire family had to work: men, women, and children. And not that the working conditions were good. They were unhygienic and unsafe. The family did not have time to spend with each other. The children were neglected. The conditions unhygienic and unsafe. Many people died due to starvation and malnutrition. They did not get enough to eat. People were busy working. They ate little and worked more. Charles Dickens, in his novel Oliver Twist, brings out all this, the evils of the Industrial Revolution, very beautifully. The Industrial Revolution had transformed the concept of leisure. Leisure is free time. Earlier, it was only the rich people who had ample of time at their disposal, and they involved themselves in various activities during this free time. In the industrialized society, due to the scientific and technological developments, there was a change in the concept of leisure for the rich and for the middle class people. Printing technology revolutionized reading habit. One of the greatest inventions was the invention of the printing press. The first printing press was invented by John Gutenberg in Germany during the 15th century. In the past, books were available only to the rich people. But after the invention of the printing press, books were easily available and cheaper. So even the middle class could read. And this concept of printing press got people reading and in turn promoted the circulation of newspapers. Through this medium, there was a spread and exchange of ideas among the people and nations. It also provided a platform for various leaders to share their views and ideas. Like in India, for example, the newspapers had played a major role in spreading nationalistic ideas. Raja Ram Mohan Roy published 3 journals, Samvat Kaumadi, which contained articles. These articles highlighted the conditions of Indian society and the exploitation and humiliation in colonial India. All this marked the beginning of Indian journalism in colonial India. Newspapers led to growth of advertisement. The newspapers were read by a large number of people. The newspapers were used by the commercial class of traders to advertise their products, which in turn helped the increase of their sales. The publishers used advertisement to increase their income. In the post-industrialized society, a number of publishing houses were established in Europe from the 16th century. These publishing houses started publishing novels written on different subjects. Some of the books mentioned: Charles Dickens wrote Oliver Twist. Jonathan Swift wrote Gulliver's Travels. H.G. Wells wrote The Invisible Man. E.M. Forster wrote The Aspect of Novels. Even women authors like Jane Austen wrote Pride and Prejudice, and Emily Bronte wrote Wuthering Heights, had become famous due to their writings, which depicted the changing role of women in society. In India as well, novels were written. Bankim Chandra Chatterjee wrote Anandamat. Mulk Raj Anand wrote Coolie. R.K. Narayan wrote the famous Malgudi Days. And Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore wrote Gitanjali. The post-industrialized society had witnessed the emergence of new political ideas, which had stressed the rights and privileges of the common masses. Writings of the French authors like Montesquieu, Rousseau, and Voltaire had resulted in the French Revolution, which is considered as a major event in world history. Even in colonial India, writings of a number of nationalistic leaders like Lokmanya Tilak, Rajaram Mohan Roy, Mahatma Gandhi had kept the flame of nationalism burning in the minds of Indians. This intellectual awakening had played a major role in bringing about the nationalistic movement in Asia. These major transformations resulted in the major emergence of a society which was totally different from societies of ancient and medieval ages. It was a society which recognized the rights and privileges of every person, irrespective of their political, social, and economic status in society. It thus marked the beginning of the modern age.